Coach told me they lean into their identity, their defense. He likes the way his defense is rounding into form. This Jacksonville team didn't get much of a reward. They won 8 consecutive games, and what did they get? A visit from Josh Allen. It had been a while since Buffalo had won a road playoff game, but here, what a throw, off schedule, off his back foot, finds the bench.
I've been there before. I'm going to stare down the pressure. I'm going to deliver the ball to a receiver that got there like 12 hours ago.
That's Brandon Cooks. And then this 4th and inches run. All right, first down, and then
Osiris.
I don't know. That might be the play that gets that play banned. Because you can't do that.
Can't do it, man. And as a defensive guy, you lose that battle every time.
And then, as Coach Cohen said afterwards, they freewayed that one. You're going to let him score so you can get the ball back with time. They didn't have timeouts, but they had a minute. Good for Tre'Davious White. Gets a hand on the ball. Cole Bishop gets it. And that's going to do it. Bills happy, but not satisfied.
We stay here. We don't blink, all right? We get one more.
That's right.
That's the reward for doing what we did today. We get one more. Now we got to go earn it again, all right? Love y'all, boys.
And our pal Stephen A. Smith got one more. When you came to the last one, I said, you coming to the playoffs? She said, you just got to invite us. I said, it might be cold. When you left Florida this morning, Stephen A., what was the temperature?
It's at 84 degrees. That's where I was less than 24 hours ago. I'm freezing, but I love y'all, so I'm here with the crew.
And we appreciate you being with us. As for this Buffalo team, we all know the conversation in advance of who's not in their way. Okay, but that's a good Jacksonville team you got that they beat yesterday. Yep. What does he demonstrate with that drive to win that game?
Well, he's Josh Allen. And, I mean, completed 80% of his passes. The man in his 14 career playoff games has thrown for 36 touchdowns. He's run for 9, for crying out loud. This man is just special. He's a superstar as a quarterback. And when you got a guy like that you can lean on and hand a rock to, you're like, it just uplifts your confidence exponentially because you know that somehow, some way, if there is a way, he's the kind of cat that's going to find it. He's got his work cut out for him in a mile-high city. As good as Jacksonville is, I don't believe they're the Denver Broncos, but you can't take away from Josh Allen and what he did with Shakir and Dawson and Kincaid and all of those brothers that he had at his disposal. In the end, they're all looking at him and they're saying, we believe in you. No matter what it does, you'll find a way. That's who Josh Allen is.
You know what's interesting, Swag, is a year ago, Denver kind of crashed the party ahead of schedule and made the playoffs, and they went to Buffalo, scored first, actually. Buffalo beat them. A year later, they're at home as the 1 seed. Buffalo comes in small favorite. What's your thought of that game?
Listen, we continue to talk about the players on the field, and obviously we know the greatness that Stephen A. just explained about Josh Allen. We haven't talked about Sean Payton enough, and I think that's going to be a major difference. Listen, Sean Payton at the beginning of the season said the Denver Broncos could win a Super Bowl. And people looked at him crazy. He had a young quarterback that never had really done anything in this league. He had a defense that we knew were pretty good, but we were waiting to see. And now all they've done is become the number 1 seed in the AFC. They get a home games throughout. And it is a team that believes they can win late in games. They believe they can be dominant. And there has been some inconsistency from this football team. But the consistency has been more prevalent than the inconsistency. Buffalo is going to have their hands full, but you would rather not walk into that stadium with anybody else other than 17.
Well, let me say this. The inconsistency on the part of the Denver Broncos, it damn sure ain't because of their defense.
No.
They hunt, okay? And listen, they led the league in sacks, all right? So you know they're coming for Josh Allen. That's the difference. It's one thing to prepare to have to go up against him. It's another thing when your specialty is going after the quarterback. Absolutely. And now you got to go against arguably the greatest in the game today in Josh Allen, the way that he's looking right now. You're going to have to get your work. You're going to have your work cut out for you. But in the end, those other guys, Shakur and all of these other cats, Dawson and Kincaid, you're going to have to step up and help them. Because if you leave Josh Allen there hanging, Denver ain't the type of team you're going to beat with one man. He's going to have to show up, but he's going to need all the help that he can get against these Broncos.
Let me say this too, Scott. The Denver Broncos will be very fresh for this football game. And I don't think we can make a big enough conversation about having a first week bye. Sure. Now, some teams it hurts. Some teams are not prepared. They're ill-prepared. Right. But that's why I bring up Sean Payton.
What about the altitude, though? The altitude as well.
Yeah, the altitude. But the preparation and a coach already having been a Super Bowl champion, knowing how to handle these weeks, knowing how to handle these situations should bode well for a pretty young team in Denver.
I know that both the 1 seeds that are fresh are getting teams that played on Sunday. And I know that San Francisco in particular, who's had a bunch of short weeks, going, how do we keep drawing this short straw? Their work cut out for both of those teams on the road, Buffalo and San Francisco, after they got wins on Sunday. More to come from Stephen A. as we continue here from Pittsburgh. His Steelers.
I can run in the tunnel now.
Yeah, you can go in the tunnel. Get a little warm. Will Anderson's warm. Monegator blood. He is part of one of the most ferocious pass-rushing tandems in the game. Michelle Bosner-Buck will have the story of fire and ice. Give me the fire part. We need to stand by that. Night, not as cold as the last time we were here, but it's wintertime in Pittsburgh. It's supposed to be cold. It's supposed to have playoff football. Swag, Jason, Brian, Scott Van Pelt with you. Fellas, it's been fantastic so far, and we want to try to maintain that energy throughout these 60 minutes. Yeah. And the conversation about the momentum that Pittsburgh could bring. Jason, you've lived this. A kick that goes the wrong way for the team kicking it, and you got 60 more minutes. Is that a real thing in the minds of Pittsburgh tonight? Let's keep this thing going?
Probably, they're not thinking about that kick last week tonight, most likely. Like, I think we dealt with some in Philly. We had the double doink game in Chicago. The year after we won the Super Bowl, kind of snuck another game out. But the moment you start preparing for the next week, you're on to the next week. And these guys got their hands full with Houston. They're going to be thinking all about Danielle Hunter, Anderson, a lot of the guys over there on that side of the ball for sure.
Swag, you identified a Houston squad back in November as a team that had the goods to win not games, 9 in a row, not a playoff game, to win the Super Bowl. What's it going to take tonight?
Defensively is this team's calling card and identity, but I think we get so caught up in this defense that we forget they got some star power on offense too. And these guys have protected C.J. Stroud a lot better. That was their issue, especially in the interior. That's going to be a big challenge for them tonight with Cam Hayward. But Higgins has stepped up. We already know about the guys on the outside, the tight ends, the wide receivers. But the run game, Nico, you see here, the run game has become something of at least you have to pay attention to. I really like the fact that Houston has this on-the-road playoff experience, because here's one thing I do know, all right? And I've been hard on the guy, but I think Aaron Rodgers has changed the viability of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And before the season started, I said, well, this is another Band-Aid. And where do they go from here? Last week against the Baltimore Ravens, as much as we talked about the missed field goal, Aaron Rodgers took over that game. That game was about coaching. That game wasn't about the X's and O's and the plays that you were calling. He was out there kind of in that flow state.
Sure.
And I'm wondering, now, getting in your flow state against these damn animals
it's gonna be harder
is
to
a lot different. But I think Houston
like
is at least
whitewater
prepared. I think Houston is prepared for this challenge because of that past experience. It's really going to be all about how they protect CJ tonight in a large majority of this game.
I'm glad you brought that up early, because we're going to talk so much about Rodgers and the Houston defense. The Houston offense and the Pittsburgh defense is a huge part of tonight as well. And as much as the flow state happened last week with Rodgers, he did it without DK.
Yeah.
Ryan, getting him back, what sort of difference does he make, and what must he provide?
Well, first off, the one thing you know about us in that brotherhood is we feel like we owe you something when we let you down. DK Metcalf knows not being here for those last 2 games put his team in a difficult position to even be in the playoffs. He owes them the respect of showing up. He owes them the respect of effort, and he also owes them the respect of making plays, because that's why DK Metcalf was brought here. What I do love is now Pat Freiermuth can come up in big situations. Calvin Austin can come up in big situations. And Kenneth Gainwell can do the same. So for DK Metcalf, to me, there has to be 2 to 3 times tonight where he wins one-on-one with Derek Stingley Jr. or Kamari Lassiter on a physical play, 50-50 ball in competition combat catches. Aaron Rodgers has to be able to count on him. If I get a one-on-one, I know you get me a free ball. I know you get me a free catch. That's who DK Metcalf is supposed to be.
Scott, I got a question for
Please.
RC, you played on this field. You played for this organization. You played for this head coach. What is Mike Tomlin like on a week like this?
The same as he is the first 18 weeks. And I think it's that level of consistency. Me and Scott
You've
talk
said this
about
forever,
all the time. It's that level of consistency that doesn't make the game too big. In the divisional round of the playoffs in 2010-2011, we were down to Baltimore here, 21-7 at halftime. Everybody's freaking out. They feel like you're in a bad position. He puts his arm around me, and he goes, watch how great this comeback is. He didn't say, we got to go work on this to figure it out, or we got to do these things. He knew exactly what was going to happen, and he was telling me prophetically in the future, watch how good we feel when this game ends. He's the exact same way all the time. So on Wednesday morning, when you're going over the tips and the tendencies and you're learning about the team you're playing, it feels like it's just another week with a heightened sense of urgency because you know it's win or go home.
You explained that to me as long as I've known you, that he's always been the same guy. Pittsburgh, though, they want to see a different version of the postseason Steelers than they have seen in their last 6 games. That is a big part of this storyline tonight. D'Amico Ryan's the man on the other sideline. They dropped their first 3 games. He's going to throw on a headset and chat with us pregame. Can't wait for the opportunity to do that. We're going to try not to wear him out, but I'm sure we're going to have some questions.
He'll Monagator too now.
He certainly is. As we look at the grid,
as a player.
we still don't know who's got what games and what times they are, but we do know that the winner of this game tonight will be heading to New England to take on the Patriots. Denver, the 1 seed, an underdog at home against Buffalo. Meanwhile, out west, it'll be San Francisco and Seattle running it back for the 3rd time, and after that remarkable comeback from the Bears again against